WZR Radio starts now. You can join us in the live chat room at WZROnline.com/chat. Or call into the show at 518-712-3070.
I'm coming up for air so I can check myself again, and I stand moving to the man but sheltered. Confidence returned.
Now, here are your hosts, Matt Boone and Ryan Clark.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday, January 19th, 2010 edition of WZR Radio here on WZROnline.com. I'm, as always, your host, Ryan Clark. Matty Boone is with me as well. Matty,
what's going on, brother?
What's up, my man?
Oh, not a whole lot, man. Just losing a lot of money on these fucking playoff games. Other than that, I'm doing great.
I hear you, dude. The playoffs, I beat you in one or two games. I don't know.
We bet two games. You won them both.
Right over the weekend, man. I'll tell you what, it's been busy around here the last few days, and I'm fucking tired, man. I don't know. I'm real tired. I feel,
well, we were talking off the air earlier today, like, we gotta set up another vacation for Vegas and just fucking get away from work for like a week again. Just go out there and blow off some steam and then fucking come back and get right back into it. Because it doesn't seem like it's going to ease up anytime soon, this workload.
I know. The problem with it is it never ends. When the weekend comes around, you know what I mean? I don't want to sound like a whiny bitch, but when the weekend comes around, you have UFC or MMA, and you have Raw, and you've got the TV.
Well, also on weekends, you got Sunday, TNA, WWE pay-per-views, and Ring of Honor shows, and there's always something that keeps you stuck in the house at your fucking computer, which is just too much.
All the time. It never ends, man. And now with, I would expect by the end of 2010, we're going to have TNA versus WWE on Monday night.
Yeah, full throttle, which is going to be, that's going to make our work increase by double it's going to be insane.
Right. Well, no, Monday's such a busy day as it is anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Especially coming out off pay-per-views on Sunday nights, you know what I mean?
Tuesdays have always been busy because of Impact spoilers and SmackDowns, but now we got double Impact, and we got Super shows, and we got big surprise debuts, and always something that everybody's online looking for, so you got to give it to them.
Crazy, and they want it fast, too, you know what I mean? They want it. It's got to be there. And
if you don't have it up and somebody else does, they're going to their site. You got to be first with it.
You got to be first, exactly. Speaking of TNA Impact and SmackDown tapings, that happens every Tuesday. Well, SmackDown and ECW does, but we're in Greenville, South Carolina tonight for SmackDown and ECW, and TNA Impact is taping again tonight at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. They taped last night, they're taping tonight, and they're taping tomorrow night as well.
What's wrong with your voice over there? You got a little cold? What was the throat going on?
I don't know, dude.
I
know, I've been fine all day, and we went on the air here, and I don't know, man. I've got water. I've got water here, so we'll be all right, man. Plus, I feel foggy or something. We'll get into it, though. We got 2 hours, man. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours. Shit.
Plenty of time to spend 2 hours.
All right, so we got, like I said, Greenville, South Carolina, SmackDown and ECW tapings. TNA Impact is in Orlando, Florida. Here's the deal with TNA. Instead of giving you guys live spoilers on the air like we do on a weekly basis, because I know
I didn't like that too much last week. Yeah.
Well, everybody doesn't read the spoilers. So basically what I'm doing is we're doing a live radio show right now, and I'm typing up Impact spoilers, and I'm putting them up on TNAWrestlingNews.com, which we relaunched over the weekend.
Looks good, too, man. Looks real good.
Yeah, we tweaked it. It's basically the same design, but we just brought in a more clean...
You added some stuff. You added the galleries, and you added... there's a couple things you added.
Yeah, we've got galleries over there as well, like you said. So that's, big news, big things popping over at TNAWrestlingNews.com. So basically, we've got live Impact spoilers. It's the top post over there right now. So if you want to get the Impact spoilers, go to TNAWrestlingNews.com, click the top post. As far as SmackDown and ECW, They're on the East Coast tonight, so hopefully here, probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern time, we'll have some spoilers, at least ECW spoilers, before we go off the air. So we'll give those out live here. But if you want TNA, go to TNAWrestlingNews.com. What else? I hear a little echo. Do you hear that?
I was going to ask you if you heard it or not. Yeah, I'm hearing it like in spurts.
Yeah, it's not that bad, so we'll just deal with it.
If it gets worse, I can fix it. Because what I did tonight was turn our volume up like pretty much as high as it can go, so it's better quality.
Gotcha. All right, so let's talk about some weekend stuff, man, and then we'll move on to gotta talk about. Right. Oh my God, we got so much to talk about. We got Genesis was on Sunday night. That was a pretty good pay-per-view. And then,
I saw that. Yeah.
Some of the booking in TNA, especially, they just had at the TNA Impact tapings. Here's a quick spoiler. Turn the speakers down real quick. But they just had.
Kept on talking about how you're not going to do it.
I know. But they just had Orlando Jordan went over Jay Lethal at the Impact taping, and I'm thinking, I mean, this is like. I told somebody in the chat room, I don't remember who it was, but earlier before we went on the air, that this is like the Hulkamania tour that he just did over in Australia. I mean, it's like all Hogan's guys, Sean Morley, Orlando Jordan, all these guys, the Nasty Boys, all these guys are coming in, and they're all going over the younger talent. You know what I mean? And it's like...
I guess it seems like, my thing is, why can't they just put them up against people like Shark Boy and... help me out. Eric Young. Eric Young's good, I guess, but like the guys that don't matter in the
right.
Why are they giving them the top guys, Desmond Wolf's job and Samoa Joe's job and Daniels' job? And like, I think the theory behind that is these are who are viewed as the TNA stars in TNA right now. We want Sean Morley, the Nasty Boys, etc., to be the stars. So let's have them destroy the current stars. That way they look, in essence, like they're the new stars.
Right. You just had, I mean...
They're not buying it. I mean, you watched that pay-per-view like I did. The fans were not buying into Sean Morley at all, and I can't wait to get into that.
Right, and they just had somebody like, another spoiler real quick, guys, but somebody like D'Angelo Dinero, who's the Pope over in TNA. They just had him defeat AJ Styles in a non-title match. And I know,
that's topsy-turvy because it's another spoiler. It's on your speakers. At last night's tapings, the Pope lost to Orlando Jordan, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's like they lose and then they win. It's like they don't really mean shit right now. You got to build them up or take them down, not build them up one week, take them down the next.
You just had the Pope defeat AJ Styles in a non-title match, right? And then after the match,
I'm sure there was bullshit involved.
Well, after the match, the Pope won with a small package, right? And it was a non-title match. And then after the match.
Though.
And then after the match, you had Ric Flair and Styles come out, and they attack De Niro. Samoa Joe comes out, makes the save, and then they set up Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles for the title at the next pay-per-view. So basically, so the point of Pope going over there and then basically throwing him out of the mix, I guess it doesn't. I mean, if you're going to go on and you're going to do a match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe at the pay-per-view, it doesn't hurt Styles to get a loss. He's also your TNA World Champion. You know what I mean? So to have, it just doesn't. Some of the booking is off here. But
don't try and figure out their booking right now, dude. It's it's everywhere. It doesn't make any sense half the time, but it's still to me, it's still better than the old TNA because it's something that actually, and the internet traffic proves it. The ratings on TV proves it. Who knows what the buy rate did last night? I'm not expecting it to do anything special, but as far as TV ratings and internet traffic are concerned, which are two things that affect our businesses, so I'm happy about it. The new TNA right now is drawing way more interest from the diehard fans and some of the casual fans. So they're doing what helps us, so I can't complain. But I mean, long term.
You've heard me, man, over the past few days with the traffic at TNAWrestlingNews.com. I set an all-time traffic record yesterday. I had something, I can't remember the exact numbers. I put up a post on TNAWrestlingNews.com about it.
Bragged about it?
Well, of course, baby. I had something like 55,000 unique visitors, different people that visit the site. Something like 55,000, and then 200 and something page views, which is ridiculous for a website that only covers TNA. So
and it's not like a website that's been built for years and it's this big site. Like it's a normal site that has been only around for a couple of years, and now that TNA's blowing up, it's blowing up with it.
Hey, we have a ton of people in our live chat room tonight. WZROnline.com/chat. Lots and lots of people still coming in there tonight, so that's good news. WZROnline.com/chat to get to the live chat room. All right, over the weekend, we talked about the NFL playoffs a little bit, and
we had the Ravens and the Colts. Yeah, I took the Ravens as the underdog team because I'm from Baltimore, so I figured I'd go with the only team in the playoffs I care about because the Lions didn't even come close to making it. But so I went with the Ravens, and I got beat pretty simply and easily on that one. And then I went for the surefire bet the following day to try and make that money back. Chargers are going to beat the Jets, of course they are. No, they're not. They're just not.
I'll tell you what, man. See, Baltimore looked good, man. Baltimore's D the week before.
Chargers looked good too all night. They just fucked up at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that was a close game up until the fourth quarter with the Chargers and Jets. But nonetheless, the Jets won. So now we've got games for next week. We've got 4 teams left in the NFL. We've got the Jets are going against the Colts for the AFC.
Chargers.
No,
Colts, it's Colts and Minnesota, right?
Chargers are out. No, it's Jets versus Colts.
You're right.
And it's Vikings versus New Orleans. So that's our 4 teams for next week. Minnesota Vikings, Brett Favre against New Orleans, Drew Brees down there. And New York Jets, Mark Sanchez versus Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning. So
who do you like for the Super Bowl, man?
Well, here's the thing. I've been sticking with the Jets for this whole time, and I thought that they were going to make it this far. Now you bring on the Colts, and you got to remember that the Jets beat the Colts in the regular season here not too long ago. The problem with that is that was the controversial game with a coach took out all the starters and basically fucked up their undefeated season. So, Jets versus Colts, I can't bet against Peyton Manning, so I'm going to say it'll be the Indianapolis Colts against Brett Favre. I told you this last week. I think that for this is Favre's season where he's going to prove everybody wrong. He's going to come back, go to the Super Bowl, and probably win it. So I think
the Vikings playing?
Vikings play the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I got the Colts and the Vikings in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it looks like the Colts and the Vikings if I had to pick. But don't count out the Jets, my man.
I can't got anybody. There's been weird games. I mean, nobody thought the Ravens were going to beat the Patriots. Nobody thought the Jets would beat the Chargers. There's a lot of upsets. Nobody thought Minnesota would spank Dallas.
Not only that, but Brett Favre and the Vikings have to go down into the Superdome next week and play in New Orleans. So I mean, that's tough competition down there. A tough crowd down there.
Yeah, that's a good crowd for football.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. NFL playoffs, AFC and NFC divisional championships are this weekend. So that's big news. We'll have the playoff teams after Sunday. I got a new computer last week, my man. I got it sent in the mail, and I'll tell you what, amazing! What a world of difference, man. I got this new Firefox browser. We talked about Firefox. It's a good one, my man. I'm trying to.
Everybody knows this will be about the 18th time I've heard this story, but he's got to say because you haven't heard it yet. So just get it done with, man.
I got this. I got
a new computer, man.
Hey, listen, man. Compared to the old one, man, your old one that I've been using.
It was a piece of shit. I'm not denying it. You keep acting like it's my fault, and you're the one who wanted to use it.
Hey, I got a new computer, son. I got a new computer last week.
Congratulations for the 18th time. What do you want me to say?
I got Firefox on this bad bitch, dude. I got everything. It's a brand new computer, and I like it a lot.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. Anyways, we got
well, my weekend. We got today. My other brother moved in, so I got another roommate now. So that's always a lot of fun. Got to go to the doctor tomorrow.
It's like 3 retards in one house.
There's 2 retards and me, motherfucker.
Well, that's true. 2 retards and 2. No doubt.
That's family. You know how it is. Your sister's with you right now because she's a sister. She needed your help, and you helped her out. You needed help. I'll help him out.
No doubt. So what else? I mean, there was no MMA, no UFC.
No MMA, no boxing. You said you watched Friday Night Fights. I didn't see none of that, but I didn't see any fights.
It was Friday Night Fights? It was like the battle of the Juan Carloses. It was like Juan Carlos Martinez against Juan Carlos Ramirez. Yeah, that's what it was. Juan Carloses. It That's some good fights on there. Boxing's got some good stuff coming up. Well,
there's a lot of news too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. I'm gonna give you some time. You yelled at me earlier because we never give Boone enough time for his.
No. The argument was, you gotta understand, this kid Ryan Clark has been calling me with these giant 20-minute long speeches about all this boxing news. I said, bro, I love talking about boxing. Why can't we talk about this on the show? How come we spend 98% of the time talking about shit neither one of us really want to talk about? And then the 2% of stuff we really do want to talk about, UFC and boxing and football and, late night TV, whatever cool stories are going on, we don't even talk about them. It's a radio show. We can talk about whatever the hell we want. We're in charge.
Exactly. Well, we speaking of the ratings, man, Conan, poor Conan, my man. He's going to be leaving NBC. We know that.
Last week, right?
What is it? Now he goes till February. I think it's February 15th when the Olympics start up. I think.
Why did I hear this? You sure he's not in repeats until then? They were talking about it on Howard Stern today. They said this is the final week of live shows for Conan, and Howard, you knew last week, Howard was supposed to come on this week and talk shit about Jay Leno and stuff.
Right,
and
right.
He decided not to do it. He said this was the final week, so there's no way for him to do it now.
Oh.
So
yeah, I don't know.
You would know better than me. I don't follow that crap, but
I thought it was supposed to be. I think it was right before the Olympics or something they were going to go, but no, they had rallies outside of Conan's studio yesterday, which was pretty entertaining. They had.
I feel sorry for that guy, man. He's getting so screwed. They're raping the hell out of him. It's bad, man.
Yeah, so they moved his entire staff from New York to Los Angeles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to get out there.
The Tonight Show. People don't understand. Like, we grew up, it was still Johnny Carson and the Tonight Show, right?
Right.
That was like the monumental comedy show. Well before Saturday Night Live, it was like the first comedy institution in television, and it was Johnny Carson, and people worshipped that fucking show. David Letterman was dying for it, and then Jay Leno pulled some scumbag moves, hid in a closet, all this crap, and he got the show, and he got Johnny Carson forced out before he wanted to. Long story short, everybody dies for that show. Jay Leno did, David Letterman did, Johnny Carson did. And then they finally give it to Conan. His dream come true. He gets the Tonight Show, and then they take it right the fuck back from him after like a half a year. That ain't.
For the younger generation, Conan is a much funnier guy, and it's like Leno's not going to be around forever. You know what I mean? So sure, if you're going to take a ratings hit, right? And by the way, for the past week, ever since they've done this bashing of each other back and forth, Conan is now beating Leno and Letterman on a nightly basis with all this stuff.
Are you serious? In the ratings?
In the ratings, his ratings are huge. He drew a 1.8 last night, which is...
Well, see, that's the big defense from NBC, is that Conan's ratings weren't what they expected them to be when he took over the Tonight Show. But the obvious reason is because his new lead-in, instead of CSI going into local news and then the Tonight Show like Jay Leno had, it's now Jay Leno into local news. The Tonight Show. And Jay Leno's show bombed so badly, killed the local news market, losing hell of money, and then they had nobody watching. So it was like Conan was getting his audience, not retaining a big CSI audience. You know what I mean? It was just completely unfair.
It looks like Conan's going to get about $40 million from NBC, and then I think Fox is going to pick him up. Fox has been interested in a late-night comedy program for...
They give him 11:30?
Yeah, I would believe so.
I would like that.
Obviously not the Tonight Show. They're going to give that back to Jay Leno and stuff. But
fuck him. Well, legally, Conan can hold that away because he owns the Tonight Show. They put it up. They can put it on whenever they want. So the Tonight Show with Conan, like we said last week, that joke at 12:05. It's not tonight anymore. It's tomorrow. So
right.
But yeah, he owns the name. So I don't think he could take it to another network. But either way, it would just be cool to have Letterman versus Leno again, and Conan in the mix. It'll be a battle between all three of them, and you can kind of count in Jimmy Kimmel too.
Exactly, and then that puts Fox on the map as well as far as late night TV is concerned. All right, two last things before we move on. By the way, guys, we have an update, Impact spoiler update. If you're interested in those, we're putting them up tonight on TNAWrestlingNews.com. Go over there. Just put up another update, as Boone was ranting and raving here just a second ago. So TNAWrestlingNews.com. Two quick site notes. First of all, TNAWrestlingNews.com. Like I said before, we tweaked the design over the weekend. If you haven't been there yet, go check it out. Basically the same concept, all the same news and things like that. Added galleries and much cleaner, and added galleries and stuff like that. So go over there, TNAWrestlingNews.com. As far as WZROnline.com is concerned, you guys know we've had the problems. There was something from my old computer that was placing a code on all the websites. Got rid of the old computer. New computer's here now. Da-da-da-da-da. We talk about this every week. All right, talk about this every week. As far as WZR Online is concerned, the last I knew, we were ready to basically relaunch it and put the old design back. Unfortunately, I've held off for a few weeks to say anything. I've been extremely patient with JMK. Extremely patient.
See, you asked me last week on Wednesday I was supposed to help you, and you said JMK was actually going to do it. You didn't need me anymore. I would have helped you. You didn't tell me you still needed help.
This is the WordPress design. Basically, we want to get the WordPress design, and there's a lot of files that go into it. I don't know. I didn't put the site together. I don't use WordPress either. I wouldn't know what to do. All right. Basically, there's one guy that can help us fix that problem, and that's JMK, and we transferred the site over to my own server, and basically I kind of feel that I've been left for dead. He says that he just hasn't had the time, but it's been weeks now, and patience, runs out. Patience runs out after some time, so I don't want to come out. I don't want to bash anybody. It's not anything like that. I just wish that I could get a little bit more help in putting this up so that we could get it back and running. It's ready to go. It'll only take... Maybe the people that did that new TNA Wrestling News design can do a new WZR design, and we can just go to a regular HTML site instead of WordPress. I am talking to him about that as of last night. So that would be a good idea. Yes, hopefully we can get that back up. WZROnline.com. Hopefully we'll get that back up. The official website, official home of WZR Radio, WZROnline.com. All right, let's move on. We ranted and raved for long enough. We're going to take live phone calls, by the way, guys, in hour number 2. We'll give out the phone number here in just a little bit. And WZROnline.com/chat. Lots and lots of people in the chat room tonight. And, of course, we'll do chat shout-outs here in hour number 2 as well. All right, we had the TNA Genesis pay-per-view from Sunday night. Real quick, while you mentioned shout-outs, I gotta shout out Joe in Ohio and all his buddies in Dayton, Ohio. It's cracking, people. All right, no doubt. I was asked to. All right, Genesis pay-per-view from Sunday night. What'd you think, man? Overall, top to bottom. That's a tough one, man. Because I thought if you break it down to 2 shows, the first half and the second half, the first half was just complete garbage. And there was some stuff in the second half that I was into. So I would say overall, C+ or a B-. Depends on what mood I'm in. C+ or a B-. All right, no doubt. We'll start from the top. We'll run through most of the show here, the important stuff that went down, and then we'll get through that, and then we'll talk about Monday Night Raw before we go to the hourly break, and then in hour number 2, we got a lot of news and rumors. I've got some big exclusives for you guys, for you TNA fans. There was a fight last night at the Impact tapings between Awesome Kong and Bubba the Love Sponge, who I went off. Just to picture it in your head, like I know the scene going down is so funny. That was crazy. I sent you a message. It's like Joey Styles knocking out JBL. It's just a funny image to picture in your head when you pretend to imagine what it looked like. I've got some exclusive stuff on that. Right, yeah, we were telling him in the chat, you've got the actual whole story on that fight, what went down, why it went down, and how it got stopped, and you got the whole thing. I heard it earlier. Actually, somebody was there. Somebody that helped break it up was the one that broke the story to me last night. I should have put that up last night, man. I sent you a message. It was after midnight, I think, last night when I got the story sent to my email from a reliable source. Yes. Well, a guy that was there that helped to break up the fight. So, I mean, everything that went down, we're going to talk about that in at some point in hour number 2 when we get to the news and rumors. By the way, how about last week? Remember last week? And I didn't even think about it when we came on the air tonight. But the Sunny deal from last week, I got emails last week, man, from.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about this. What happened?
No, from fans of this show that said things like the Sunny segment to WZR was money in the bank and things of that nature, you know what I mean?
That's what I was telling you. It was like our own Howard Stern moment. Like, we were rallying the troops and saying, should we fucking out this bitch, or what are we doing?
She's still a dumb cunt, right?
I don't know. I've never met the lady to talk to her. She sounds like it in those emails, though. I will say that.
She did. All right, TNA Genesis from Sunday night. We opened it up. This was interesting. We actually had a photo up earlier in the day. It's another benefit of going to TNAWrestlingNews.com. We had Mike Stalick. From SEScoops.com. He was over there at the Impact Zone and passed along a photo of the new four-sided ring. So we had a photo of Mikey we had a photo of that. We posted it about an hour before the pay-per-view went on the air. A four-sided ring debuted, and that was interesting because we opened things off. We had Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff came out, and obviously with the new four-sided ring there, you had to bring those guys out. They had to, you had to explain what was going on. Why is there no six-sided ring anymore? And this caused, there's a group of fans in the Impact Zone, and it seems like there's about, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 different people that sit up in the, not in the first few rows, but up in like the first balcony there, whatever you want to call it in the Impact Zone. Yeah. It's like a group of marks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just reminds me of a Ring of Honor crowd. You know what I mean? Where they're real smart and they just, we had loud, audible chants of "We want six sides" during the Hogan Bischoff promo. Basically,
here's the setup. The setup was Hogan and Bischoff came out to open the show, and the real mystery right now is who's babyface and who's not. And it's not a storyline where you're supposed to find out, is this guy acting like a babyface or is he acting like a heel? What's going on is, and just a list of people, Hulk Hogan, he's supposed to be a babyface. Jeff Jarrett is supposed to be a heel. Sean Morley is supposed to be a babyface. Daniels is supposed to be a heel. And they've got clear indications from the last TV, which they shot January 5th after that live special that aired last Thursday. It was clear that the fans were not going to cheer Sean Morley and his porno gimmick from 1999 that was best mid-card in WWE. They weren't going to cheer it, especially over Daniels. They're one of their main top 3 homegrown guys. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Daniels. That's who you think of. They're not going to cheer over that. And then with the Hogan stuff, he's trying to be a babyface, but it's just weird. That whole promo with him and Jeff Jarrett that first night, January 4th, and all the follow-ups is like he's trying his ass off to be babyface and make Jarrett look out to be like a scumbag heel or something, but it's just not working, man, and they keep going with it anyway. It's like they refuse to accept the fact that the fans aren't buying into it, they don't want it, and they're going to give it to them anyway. They're going to make them, they're going to force-feed them it. So the whole deal was here, when they started the show, Hogan and Bischoff came out to cut a babyface promo about how they promised changes and it starts tonight. No more six-sided rings. We're going to the traditional four-sided ring. And then you get the chance of "We want six sides." And they were so loud that you had to acknowledge them. You had to say something. And Hogan said something bad. He said something like, we had six sides for a while and look how far it got us. Well, pretty much saying, fuck all you.
No, he said something. TNAWrestlingNews.com top post for that. We had a backstage segment. It was the band, who they're now calling Hall, Nash, and Waltman, now referred to as the band. They were backstage with Hogan and Bischoff. Basically, the gist of this was Hall had an excuse where he was not able to wrestle tonight, and they did paper, scissors, rocks, or something.
Well, he didn't. I don't think he didn't mention he had a reason. I think it was it was something they used to do in WCW as a joke. Because they thought they were the Freebirds. The Outsiders were 3 people, and they had the tag titles, but when they defended them, you never knew which 2 of the 3 would be defending the titles. So what they would do is play rock, paper, scissors, and whoever won would get to be in the match. So they said, we got to do it old school style, did the rock, paper, scissors, but the reason they did that was because Scott Hall had like a groin injury and couldn't wrestle, so.
Right, we had the exclusive up on that on Monday night. Winning segment, Sean Morley promo about his new film, which you just talked about, which didn't get over with the crowd in the least bit. We had Daniels come out, and like you said, he was a heel, and then he was a babyface, and then a heel, and just, I mean, that promo before the match was back and forth. Was
a train wreck, man. That whole thing was a train wreck completely. And it was funny because then when the match started, because those two promos led to a match between Sean Morley and Daniels. And, like, in the beginning of the match, the crowd was dead silent. They didn't know what to do. They were just confused. They were told to cheer this guy, boo that guy. They didn't want to, so they just sat there and didn't say nothing. But then, a few minutes into the match, it was like the collective group of fans in the Impact Zone said, fuck it, and then just started cheering Fallen, Angel, you know, like, we know Daniels just told us not to cheer him, basically, in a roundabout way, talking trash to us and making fun of us, but we like the guy. We don't like Morley. Morley, Fallen Angels, baby. Fallen.
Well, and the thing about it is they've done matches between, like, AJ Styles and Daniels where they've had AJ Styles hit the Styles Clash on Daniel, and then he kicks out, right? And then you have Sean Morley come off and hits his money shot, which is basically like a frog splash off the top rope and pins Daniels, right? So another one of Hogan's guys goes over Daniels, man. And Daniels got dicked on the January 4th special as well. You know what I mean?
My question is, when did Sean Morley become a Hogan guy? Because I could swear that's a Vince Russo guy.
That's, he was
Vince Russo was in love with Val Venis in WWE. He created the whole character of the porno stuff. He loves that guy. Hogan never even was in WWE when Val Venis.
Yeah, I know. Morley was on the tour of Australia, so he was just another guy.
Oh, okay. There you go. So he's one of those guys. I got it.
Right. Sean Morley defeated Daniels. Then we had a 2 out of 3 falls match between Terra and ODB. They made ODB look weak here. I mean, Hogan did an interview not too long ago, several months ago actually, where he said that guys like Cody Deaner and ODB made the TNA product look lame or made it look weak or something like that, where the gimmick, ODB's gimmick, made it look like I don't remember his exact wording, but basically said that those two were brought down the TNA product, and 2 out of 3 falls, they had Terra win both falls, so basically ODB buried at Genesis. Then we had Christy Hemme was backstage with the Pope, who I've really come around to, I mean, his mic work is awesome, and in-ring work as well, probably. I
hear everybody talk about how good his mic work is. I'm not impressed.
Really?
No, I think he sounds like another one of the million people that tries to do a promo like The Rock. That's what he sounds like. He's trying to do his best imitation of a Rock promo, but with his own character.
Well, I mean,
like he's got the energy, he's got the charisma, but he just says stupid shit that doesn't mean anything. It's not funny. It doesn't move any story. It's just bullshit. But that's what people think promos are nowadays. So he's the best of that style. That's for sure.
We had Matt Morgan and Hernandez defeated the British Invasion to win the TNA Tag Team titles. Matt Morgan and Hernandez, we reported months ago that between Styles, Morgan, and Hernandez, those were the 3 guys that TNA was really behind. And at Genesis, they paired up Hernandez and Morgan and gave them the Tag Team titles. And they did
well, no, they paired him up January 4th for that first show because they gave him a big win, and then they gave him the title shot. You could tell they were giving him the belts right away. And, like AJ Styles is the other guy, like you said, he's been featured as the main event guy on every show, and they're putting Ric Flair with them. And
we had a backstage.
You know, the only other thing, sorry to interrupt, the only other thing is Hernandez and Morgan, and it's a very small detail, but they got to give them matching trunks or some kind of look that's similar since they're a tag team.
Right.
Because they're both huge guys. You put the same trunks on them, it'll look like a badass like beer money, you know?
Right. And like I said, man, 2 guys that TNA is really behind, and you can clearly see that with the tag team title win at Genesis. We had a backstage segment. It was Abyss attacked Bobby Lashley, who's got a fight here in about 10 days, or it was 10 days from Sunday.
It's the 30th.
30th, right.
Yeah,
so we got
11 days.
11 days from today. So basically it was a way to get him off TV. I wouldn't expect him to be at the Impact tapings. Haven't seen him yet tonight. Live spoilers, like I said, guys, on the TNAWrestlingNews.com. The Abyss acting...
He's got some kind of match on like the 23rd or something. I don't think it's TNA, but he's got some kind of wrestling match scheduled, right? Because I read something where it's like a tour somewhere or something that he's going to be wrestling like a week before his fight.
I haven't heard that. No.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. I just don't remember who it's for. But yeah.
I thought Abyss Abyss on the mic here in the backstage segment, where basically when Hogan showed up, and he was like, "Oh, Mr. Hogan, oh."
Yeah, that was funny.
That was awesome, dude. This is acting. Some people, I saw feedback where people had bashed the Abyss backstage segment.
Really?
That was good, man. Come on, man.
I thought it was funny. It was like a little kid being yelled at by his dad, only the little kid is like way bigger than the dad and like freaky looking. It was funny. What do you want?
He basically said, I'm so sorry, Mr. Hogan. I'm so sorry that he attacked Lashley. And Hogan said, that's all right, man. He had a little pep talk with him and basically said, tonight, change of plan. I've got an opponent for you, which turned out to be Ken Anderson later in the night. We had Desmond
who at no point in the entire show was referred to as the major talent acquisition that we promised. Here he is, guys. Never once did they even mention it, so yeah, I have no idea what that was about.
We had Desmond Wolfe defeated D'Angelo De Niro. This is one of the best matches of the night besides...
it was a really good match, yeah.
Yeah, really good match between these two. Big fan of D'Angelo De Niro, like I said, as far as mic work and in-ring work is concerned.
I think I like this Desmond Wolfe guy.
Yeah.
He's Bryan Danielson or Nigel McGuinness? He's Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel McGuinness, right.
Okay, yeah, I like this guy. I'd never seen him before until TNA. I'd never seen him in ROH. He's pretty fucking good.
We had a backstage segment. This has generated a lot of negative feedback on the net as well, where Eric Bischoff went up to Jeremy Borash and basically said he was done as an in-ring, or not an in-ring, but a backstage announcer for TNA Wrestling. He was done, and Borash said, what am I going to do? And Bischoff said, I don't know, you can drive the ring truck or you can work in catering or something like that. And that is the real deal. We'll talk about that here in just a little while.
Yeah, I heard some of that. I heard that we don't know exactly what, but that certain portions of that is a work or part of a storyline.
I don't believe so. I think it all depends on what happens with Bubba, because I had heard that they were going to put Chris.
Well, that was the other thing. A lot of the stuff with Bubba is supposedly a work. I mean, I doubt the Awesome Kong thing is, but like the stuff about him not being able to go to the production meeting and shit like that.
Well, that was true yesterday. The production meeting thing yesterday was true. That all happened after the Kong thing, which happened earlier in the day, and then a production meeting was scheduled at about 2 or 3 o'clock yesterday, and the thing had already happened backstage.
Oh, I didn't know the timetable.
Right, and then so they told him not to come, and they basically both of them were sent home. Bubba was sent home, Kong was sent home, and then that's the reason that Bubba wasn't at the production meeting yesterday. We'll talk about all that here in just a little bit.
Yeah, I got a couple of Bubba things. Yeah.
Jeremy Borash as well, but basically he's going to be doing the TNA Live thing that they do on TNAWrestling.com. So. I know you don't like him. We had Eric Bischoff was backstage with Christy Hemme as well.
Redneck Ryan Seacrest. I don't like fuck him.
Ric Flair walked in and basically grilled Eric Bischoff, and Bischoff just kind of walked off. And Christy asked Flair why he was in TNA, and he said he wasn't going to reveal his role right now, and when he was ready to, he would let us all know why he is here in TNA Wrestling. We had Beer Money Inc. defeated the Band, which was Scott Hall and Sean Waltman. Or no, it was Kevin Nash.
Nash and Waltman, yes.
And Waltman. So basically what
happened... Good. Everybody said this match was going to suck going into it. I watched this match. Was it as good as Pope and Wolf? Was it as good as Styles and Angle? Of course not. But I thought it was for guys that are over 40 years old and haven't wrestled in a long time, and especially with each other and against a new team, I thought they did great. I liked the match. Yeah, the basic gist of it here was... The finish is a whole different story, but yeah. Well, they had a plant in the audience where Scott Hall came out during towards the end of the match, and they had the gist of the backstage segment earlier in the night was Scott Hall and Sean Waltman had to prove themselves. They weren't under contract with TNA. They had to prove themselves. Scott Hall acted like a loose cannon of sorts. Out of control, yeah. Yeah, and came out during the end of the match and ripped the kid over the ring rail and beat him up a little bit. Waltman came over with this shocked look on his face, like, "What are you doing, man? What's wrong with you?" And I got a lot of emails that people said, "Are you kidding me, man? What did Scott do to that young kid?" Blah blah blah. That was all an angle. It was a plant. See, that's what you're telling me, and I believe you. A, I don't know why nobody hasn't put an article up about this. B, I don't know why it was never ever mentioned again after it happened. And C, you're smart enough to connect the dots that way earlier in the night, at the very fucking beginning of a backstage segment, they said Scott Hall's out of control. One little line off the cuff, wasn't like a big point of the story. Scott Hall's out of control. Later in the night, he comes down the ringside, you see him, and then the next thing, you see him pulling a kid over. He smacks him real hard in the face, then he yanks him over the thing, and he's got him on the ground, and then they pan away. And then they pan back to it for a split second, and you see Hall trying to grab, or Waltman trying to grab Hall, and then they split away from it again, and that's all you saw of it. And then they never went back to it, never talked about it, nothing. So to me, I'm not accusing anything of anything, but to me, I'm just saying, if that was a storyline, it was weakly done, because I'm thinking you're the only person in the world who was able to connect all those dots and figure out what it meant, because I had no clue what was going on. Well, and I was more interested in that. When I woke up the next day, I was more interested in that than anything. I wanted to know what the fuck the story was, because I couldn't figure it out. But what you said makes sense, so I'll go with that for now.
No, he worked the Impact tapings tonight as well. We've got spoilers up at TNAWrestlingNews.com, but that was completely an angle at the TNA channel.
Why such a young kid? Whatever. I don't know.
It was weird. He wasn't a guy. He was probably, I don't know. He looked
like a little ass kid to me, dude.
He's 12, 13, somewhere around there.
That's young, man. To be getting
taken bump. It's a storyline to get Hall over as this loose cannon, like, oh, don't fuck with Hall, you know what I mean? He'll flip out on fans.
I got to see TV, because it makes sense what you're saying, but I didn't get that out of that, and I haven't heard anybody else say a word about it.
Let me tell you, if it wasn't a storyline angle and Hall assaulted a kid at the pay-per-view, it wouldn't have been used at tonight's TV taping.
But if it was a storyline, why did they never follow it up or make a big deal about it?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did at the Impact.
They didn't last night. The last night's Impact tapings are for this Thursday. They didn't say a word. So you're telling me...
Well, they don't air all the backstage segments. Not all the backstage segments there to the live. I'm sure they'll do an angle backstage where Hall's in Bischoff's office or something like that. And Bischoff...
We can't have you doing what you did to that kid.
You can't attack fans, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now you get another chance to prove yourself. Because he was...
Let me ask you this, okay? We see the next 3 weeks of Impact at the taping last night, tonight, and tomorrow. Right. They never bring it up at all. You still have the same opinion.
Yeah.
That they're setting up a storyline that Scott Hall's uncontrollable, but they never mention it?
Listen, if the guy took a kid out of the stand and seriously, let's say in real life, if Scott Hall went out there, grabbed the kid, threw him over the railing, and beat the shit out of him, do you honestly think that he would be there today?
Well, bro, the other thing that could have happened is if a kid takes a swing at you or anything like that, you're allowed to do that shit. So I was thinking maybe some kid grabbed him or threw a beer in his face or hit him, and he just grabbed him and hit him back, and it was broken. I don't understand why this hasn't been mentioned. Let me ask the chat room, am I crazy? Am I the only one that wonders what the fuck is going on with this?
I think, it's the chat room. Basically, my guess is that there will be some sort of segment backstage. I'm sure it was taped either last night or tonight, or it'll be taped over the next few days, where they obviously address this, that Scott Hall is a loose cannon. But like I said before, there is no way in hell that if you attack somebody, even if it was provoked or not, that they would allow him to come back in the Impact Zone. And not only that,
it happens all the time. How many times
Orlando,
the ring?
You're at Universal Studios, man. I mean, Universal Studios staff obviously isn't going to put up with somebody attacking one of their park visitors. You know what I mean?
Yes. There's rules. You can't touch. Dude, if it happened in Raw and some kid ran in the ring, how many times have we seen Chris Jericho beat the shit out of some fan for crossing the guardrail? You're allowed to do it. Once they cross, they're breaking the law. They're putting your life and your shit in hell. Remember one time there was a ladder match. I think it was Eddie Guerrero and Edge, and he was up on top of the ladder, and a fucking kid runs in the ring and pushes the ladder up. You could hurt somebody. A talented performer in that company, you could hurt them by breaking the law. So when they jump the guardrail, you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. There was even a situation when they first started the NWO, a kid ran to the ring, and Nash stomped the shit out of him. And there's been many times when Scott Hall.
Well, of course, when fans come in, but I mean, they had this on camera. I mean, when Scott Hall.
Not the whole thing, man. It was very vague. They were shooting to it and shooting away, and they didn't talk about it. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
We'll see here in the next few weeks. But the gist, I haven't heard anything from anybody about that as far as it being anything other than a storyline. We'll see here in the coming weeks, but I truly don't feel, even if he was provoked, I truly don't feel that they would have used him at the TV tapings. Just the way that the Universal Studios people are, and in Orlando and at the theme park, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That room's filling up, man. Have you checked this out? You want to give another plug or what?
I see that. WZR, wow, Jesus. WZROnline.com/chat. Once again, WZROnline.com/chat. Get to the live chat room right now. We'll do live chat shout-outs here in hour number 2. We got to head to the break here in about 5 minutes. We're finishing up TNA.
I gotta get 2 plugs out of the way real quick while we're talking about the chat room. I gotta shout out Wrestling Streams. He just came in. Thanks to him for the TNA pay-per-view this past weekend. Appreciate it as always. Check out WrestlingStreams.net, best streams online. And I also want to shout out our YouTube guy. Ryan's got to quit being lazy and put a YouTube link on the site, but we have an official YouTube channel, and actually the guy has uploaded 1 million shows. Okay, if you want to go hear myself and Ryan in 2008, 2007, old shows, go to youtube.com/user/WZR archive. Type that in, and we have all our shows right there, easily to be found and listened to. So go check out some old WZRs if you ever get bored. youtube.com/user/WZR archive.
No doubt. I checked out the YouTube page earlier today. You sent me a link, and he's got shows from like 2008 or something that are up there. So definitely be sure to check out the official YouTube WZR Radio YouTube.com channel. What was it again? YouTube.com/user/WZR
archive.
WZR archive. All right, no doubt, guys. And then get into the live chat room. WZROnline.com/chat. Shout-outs are coming up.
That's Dan Humphreys who hooks us up with the YouTube channel. So thanks to Dan Humphreys. Appreciate it, brother. You're doing a great job.
All right, we had Mr. Anderson back to TNA Genesis. We had Mr. Anderson, Ken Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy from WWE. Debuted, cut a promo, same basic stuff that he did in WWE. Did the teased the Mr. Kennedy thing, and then did the Mr. Anderson, so that's his new name.
Yeah.
We had, that was a business surprise opponent because earlier in the night, like we said, he had attacked Bobby Lashley. So we had Mr. Anderson came in and defeated Abyss with the brass knucks at the end of the match. And then we had a very good TNA World Title match that basically saved the show. AJ Styles defeated Kurt Angle to retain the TNA title. The problem is how many times are we going to see this? I mean, we've seen it, and
they did it again last night.
No, last night at the tapings they did it for this Thursday as well.
The 4th time in a row. The last two impacts before the Genesis pay-per-view with Angle Styles.
You know, it's not.
And
like
at the pay-per-view, and now the first one. That's 4 in a row. I mean, I understand. You just said that saved the show. To me, that did not save the show. The Ric Flair stuff at the end, which we'll talk about in a second, that saved the show. But seeing a great match, a great professional wrestling effort in the ring between Kurt Angle and AJ Styles for the 10 millionth time in the last week or two, it does not mean shit to me anymore. It's like, I've seen it, I get it, they're good, it's awesome, I respect the hell out of what they're doing, but give me something different, man.
I would take Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles over Hornswoggle versus Chavo Guerrero any day of the week. And
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just
saying. If
those are 2 programs that did go on a long ass time. If that's the comparison you're making.
If we've got to see one match over and over
I got you.
on a weekly basis, AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle.
But in WWE's defense, Chavo and Hornswoggle was never a serious world title main event match on every show. It was a little goofball thing for 5 minutes in the middle of the show. So.
Right, but it doesn't. We've seen it over and over again, but it's not advancing. You know what I mean? It's not a horror like, oh my God, we've got to see AJ versus Styles again.
No, it's nothing like that. My only point was it didn't save the show because it was nothing that like I didn't expect to see. Like I expected almost every damn move I saw, I expected to see.
We had a big heel turn after the match. Ric Flair was out there. He came in and basically. Styles had the belt and basically said, put the camera on me. It's all about me. It's all about me and the TNA World title. And we had a heel turn by AJ Styles and Ric Flair. And basically we put up on the website that there are plans here in the coming weeks on Impact.
Hold on, before we get to the plans, the way it went down was Kurt Angle had AJ Styles in the ankle lock. AJ was about to tap. He almost kicked his way out of it, but Angle held on to it. He went to tap, and right as he went to tap, Rick pulled the ref out of the ring. Right. When he pulled the ref out of the ring, he grabbed the belt, threw it to AJ, like you said, and AJ looked at the belt for a second like, should I do this? And then he blasted him. and then they celebrated, and Ric Flair got on fire, which I love to see. Woo! He's the heavyweight champion of the world. Woo! He's the man. He still got it.
That was good. And then, like I said, storyline plans call for an eventual match between Ric Flair and Sting. I'm guessing, I don't know.
I've heard different.
Possibly at Lockdown.
I've heard AJ Styles and Ric Flair versus Sting and Kurt Angle.
Well, they may do.
And then they probably break off and do Sting Flair by themselves. Yeah.
And then do them by themselves.
What was and they're trying to make AJ Styles the 2010 version of Ric Flair, wearing the nice suits, having girls on him all the time, living the life because he's the world champion. And you're supposed to live the life when you're a world champion. What was the chant? I think you showed it to me.
I think it was you are married or something.
Yeah, because he came out with a bunch of girls, and he's talking about how good the girls look, and when you're the champion, this is the lifestyle you have, and then out of nowhere, they break out into a, you are married, and they said, Styles laughed and had to, stop, and then they're like...
you want another interesting bit that the...
Real quick, we gotta get to the break, man.
The necklace that AJ Styles wears around his neck is the wedding ring. Is his official wedding. If you look at the necklace, he's got the wedding ring around his neck tied to the necklace.
Oh man,
TNA. A little hose out there, right? TNA.
What are you gonna do?
All right, that was TNA Genesis from Sunday night. We got to go to the commercial break. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock Eastern time on 8 o'clock Eastern time on the East Coast. Obviously, dumb fuck Ryan Clark. But nonetheless, we'll be back after the break here. Take a quick commercial break, come back, chat, shout-outs, live phone calls, lots of news, rumors, UFC, MMA talk, Monday Night Raw from last night. A lot of shit to get to in hour number 2. You're listening to WZR Radio with Matt Boone and Ryan Clark. We'll be back right after this. Number 2, live phone calls, and lots of news, rumors, and a lot of stuff here planned for hour numero dos.
Yes.
Matt Boone.
Yes, we get calls too, the chat room, all that good stuff.
We do. We've got WZROnline.com/chat. Got a full room full of people tonight, and the phone number to call. Get ready, my man. 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070, and the official website of WZR Radio is WZROnline.com. Hopefully we'll have a new design up here in the coming weeks. So
how do you want me to handle calls? Are we taking them whenever, or we got a special designated time for them?
You take them whenever your pretty little heart pleases.
Alrighty, I will do that.
All right. You want to talk a little bit about UFC and boxing? By the way, guys, full Impact spoilers are now up on TNAWrestlingNews.com. So if you want the full Impact spoilers from tonight for next week's show, you can go to TNAWrestlingNews.com right now. Talk a little UFC and MMA for a few minutes here, and then we'll get into news and rumors. I'm going to skip Monday Night Raw from last
I didn't
night.
see it anyway, so I wouldn't be able to help you with anything.
I had it on in the background. It was just, it was your normal stuff. There was no Bret Hart. Apparently, he's supposed to be back next week to continue a storyline angle. They set up the big stuff with Taker. Basically, did an exceptional challenge for WrestleMania and said he was going to have to win the Royal Rumble, and if he was able to do that, then he'd be able to go on and basically call out the world champion or WWE champion, Undertaker being the world champion. You'd have Shawn versus Taker for the title. I still expect that to happen at WrestleMania, although they could
man.
Yeah, they could go a different route, but I think they're slowly building to a long angle.
I think they probably just didn't want to overshadow the Royal Rumble with the big announcement of the WrestleMania main event. You know what I mean? They probably.
I didn't even think about that, because Royal Rumble is one of your big four pay-per-views, on a yearly basis. So, that was the basic gist of Monday Night Raw. If anybody wants to talk about Raw, questions, comments, give us a call, 518-712-3070. All right, let's spend a few minutes on UFC and MMA, whatever you want to talk about. Boxing, a lot of big boxing news lately, too.
You know the boxing stuff better than I do, but I do know that tomorrow at 11 a.m. on ESPN, UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar will be appearing, and basically he'll be revealing his future as it pertains to his health and his future in fighting for the UFC and mixed martial arts. So we will find out a definite answer on what's going on with Brock tomorrow. As we mentioned last week, exclusively here on WZR Radio, Brock Lesnar is rumored to be in training and keeping it on the down low. Although Randy Couture kind of ruined that by telling everybody with a microphone, "Hey, Brock's training again," you know. So, but yeah, that seems to be the story.
So we think, I mean, your general feeling on that tomorrow, because I watch SportsCenter every morning, man, so I'll be able to catch it tomorrow. But your general feeling is he's going to announce that he's going to be back when, by the end of 2010, or
I think they're talking about the summer that he would have his first match back, sometime in the summer.
And would that be? I mean, who would be in line for? I mean,
I'd have to look.
Champion, right?
Yeah, as right now, Brock Lesnar's still champion. Tomorrow's announcement could change that, because you never know. He could come out and say he's not fighting, or something. But right now, as it pertains to an opponent, all the heavyweights were locked up because I guess they assumed Brock wasn't going to be fighting anytime soon. So they got, as far as top contenders, you got Frank Mir versus Shane Carwin lined up. That was supposed to be for the interim title. What'll probably be now is whoever wins that fight will fight Brock in his return fight. But you also got Nogueira versus Cain Velasquez. They got that set up.
That's a good fight right there, man.
Yeah, so all the top heavyweights are locked up and doing stuff, so they couldn't just cancel. I mean, they could, but they won't just cancel a fight and give it to Brock. So I would assume if he is coming back, and if he is coming back in the summer or sometime after the summer, it would be him fighting the winner of the Frank Mir Shane Carwin fight, as long as neither one of those guys were injured in the fight. So that's my guess.
No doubt. We'll have a recap up, because I'm going to I check out SportsCenter, like I said.
Yeah, that's too early. Well, actually, it won't be. I got to get up for the doctor tomorrow, so I'll be back by then. I'll be able to see that. But other stuff going on in MMA. January 30th. So that is not this Saturday, but it is next Saturday. Yeah, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. January 30th, we get the return of Strikeforce. It'll be on Showtime, and it will feature some guys, wrestling fans. We've got Bobby Lashley. He'll be making his Strikeforce MMA debut. He's got a 4-0 record. He'll be fighting. That's still a question mark right now. They're looking at Jimmy.
CBS.
CBS. This wasn't a CBS show. I forgot, so I was wrong on that one. This is a Showtime show. The next CBS show will be Fedor and somebody again, I believe. Okay. And I think they want to get Gina Carano on there too, and some other stuff. But yeah, this is a Showtime show, and we're looking at Bobby Lashley's Strikeforce debut against an unknown opponent as of right now. We could probably know as soon as the show's over, but they're trying to get Jimmy Ambrose, who's he's an MMA veteran. He's fought in Dream in Japan. He's fought in K1. He's fought in the WEC. He's been around. And
the thing about that dude is he's got 11 days till his fight. So I'm thinking. I mean, you said that who was it? Jim Ambrose?
Jimmy Ambrose, yeah.
Jimmy Ambrose, I mean, you would think that with 11 days, the guy's only got 11 days now and still doesn't have an opponent named. You would think that they put him in the ring with, I guess, a jobber.
Well, first of all, he is a jobber. He'll get beat. But,
right.
I mean, he's got a big enough name that diehard fans would know him, but they would only know him by, I'm a diehard fan. I know him by name, and I remember Jerome Lebander beat the shit out of him in one of the Japan fights. Other than that, and he's a big fat guy, but other than that, I don't know anything about him. But, so it's either him or they're looking at a guy called John Devine, not Johnny Devine from TNA, a different guy. John Devine, he's got a 5-1 MMA record. Originally they were going to have him fight Johan Banks, but they declined that fight. They said Johan Banks wasn't good enough to be in the fight. They thought Lashley would kill him. Jimmy Ambrose, actually, he got cleared today by the Florida Boxing Commission, so legally he can do that fight, but I've heard there's some snafu. There's one little thing left that they're trying to work out, otherwise that fight's not going to happen. But we should know by the end of the day, tomorrow at the latest, who Bobby Lashley will be fighting, and all the specifics. So the card has that fight, Bobby Lashley's debut with Strikeforce. You've also got the debut of former Heisman Trophy winner and NFL standout Herschel Walker. He'll be fighting Greg Nagy, a guy that he'll kill.
That is so cheesy.
It really is. He's like 47 years old. He's never fought in his life. He's a Taekwondo champion, which doesn't mean shit. Joe Rogan is a Taekwondo champion and instructor, and he ain't winning no fight, One of the best fights, this might be the best fight on the card. We got Ruthless Robbie Lawler versus Melvin Manhoff. Now that's a good fight.
I don't know Manhoff. Obviously, I know Robbie Lawler. But
you'll know Manhoff when you see him. He's just like, he fights like Rampage. He's just like a berserker mode kind of guy. He's real good at striking.
Right.
Obviously, Robbie Lawler's really good at striking. They both got knockout power, so it'll be a good fight, a fun fight.
Right.
And then we've got the return of Chris Cyborg Santos, the Lady Santos, defending the women's championship against Marlos Conan. So that's the next women's
coming off Cyborg's coming off a win from Gina Carano on the
that was her last fight. Yeah, that was her last fight last year. At the end of the year, she beat Gina Carano to become the women's champion. So that fight will be the first title defense, and it's against the top contender. But that girl's going to get her ass whooped by Cyborg. Main event: Nick Diaz versus Mariusz Zaromskis, and Zaromskis had 3 high kick knockouts last year alone in MMA against top guys like Sakurai and a couple other guys I'm forgetting, but he knocked out like impressively with high kicks. So he's considered one of the big deals in Japan right now, and we'll find out because Nick Diaz will always be a good test to find out if you're a jobber, a solid mid-carder, or somebody who's on the verge of breaking out and becoming a star. So we'll know that.
Right.
Also, the prelims will feature Joe Diesel Riggs, versus Jay Hiron. So definitely a nice little card. January 30th at the Bank Athletic Center, Sunrise, Florida, on Showtime at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and Pacific Time. So check that out. And if you can, of course, check out www.mmanews.com. We'll have all the coverage. We have people.
When are you guys doing the launch? It's got to be coming quick because I saw.
It should be any day. It should be any day this week. Yeah, we got the press release already out, so it'll be about any day this week.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I haven't seen an updated version of it, but I saw one months and months ago.
Dude, wait till you saw the skeleton. You just saw like the basic outline. Like now, all the features are built into it, and they all work perfectly. We got the Fight Finder like shared on.
I saw the Quick Spark or whatever, the presser that you guys did earlier today, and it seemed like, Jesus, man, you guys are going all out with with all press release and everything, man. It was.
We're not screwing around, man. We're gonna make a real run at the MMA market and see how high we can take this shit, because we're pretty much already the second or third biggest and most respected site in MMA. So let's see if we can't get a bigger spot. So MMAnews.com, check it out this week.
All right, no doubt. Hey, I'm going to let you, we'll come back to UFC and MMA probably to end the show because I want to talk a lot about boxing as well, but I wanted to get through, we've got a lot of news and rumors from TNA and WWE.
Exclusive, too. We got to get to that exclusive you promised.
Right, yeah, with the Awesome Kong Bubba fight from yesterday, and I think me and you, I mean, we're going to get into it pretty good here with this next story that I'm about to bring up, and it involves Bubba the Love Sponge and some of the remarks he's made. We got to be careful here, Boone, with what we say because we're on live radio. We don't want to get in any trouble, but I know some of the comments that Bubba made.
You got to be careful with what you say. You don't want to get in any trouble. Me, I don't give a fuck if I get in trouble. I say what I think, and I think what I say.
All right. Well, Bubba did the same thing, and he got in a lot of trouble. So remember that before you go ranting and raving on live.
I'm not a celebrity. Nobody gives a shit what I say anyway.
Well, you know, we've got quite a few people in here and quite a few people listening.
Yeah, that would just mean 100 bad fuck you emails tomorrow.
Here's the deal. Well, I'm sure we'll get those anyway. I get those anyway. I get those
say what you want.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Here's the deal. All right. Last week we opened up the show, and I came on, and basically I went off on Bubba.
You used to be the biggest Bubba mark in the world. Now look at you.
Well, it's supposed to say that
screwed with your business. He screwed with your favorite company, TNA. That's just something you don't do if your name's Ryan Clark. You lose respect that way.
Let me pull up an email. This is from the same email. This comes from a TNA talent from last night, and basically. Help me out, Boone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just stalling here for a second. Basically,
I'll help you out stalling. Yes. You're looking for the email.
Well, I've got I'm just trying to read through it to see what I can.
Well, then read. I'm stalling.
Well, I can't. There's stuff that I can't read that's in it. But anyway, it says, also, don't know if you got the full scoop, but Kong attacked Bubba backstage while saying this is for Haiti, no lie, freaking crazy. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so this comes on, and basically I asked him about Bubba. I said the deal.
This, by the way, just so you point out, everybody, this was before the story broke. Well, it was last night before the story broke today. You had that last night. I had it last night. Well, I got the story last night. I got an email last night, like I said, from a TNA talent, and it was late last night. And of course, when stuff like that comes in, he says, Kong attacked Bubba backstage, real life fight, blah, 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 and I emailed back, and I didn't get any response right then and there. And I found out that he went to sleep, and I woke up this morning and got the email then. So I didn't want to put it up, because, I mean, when somebody tells you Awesome Kong attacked Bubba the Love Sponge backstage in a real life fight, you're thinking,
What? Really?
It doesn't sound right, yeah.
It doesn't sound right, man.
But the guy you're talking to, I know he's got a good track record. He's always right. I would have went with it.
He is. He's always been right so far, man. So basically, it was late last night, so I figured I'd sleep on it. I'd wake up this morning, and then we had Bubba's radio show this morning, and he came out and basically confirmed that he was attacked. Then we put the story up, and then I got more details on it. I'm still waiting for more details. That's why.
What did he say on the radio? I didn't hear that. He responded about it on the show today?
Yeah, I have the transcript. Basically, when he responded today, and
see, man, if you would have told me. We didn't need it for the whole pre-show, but I could have had a nice cropped little segment of where he talks about it to play right now, and then we could comment on it. You didn't let me know.
I know.
It's a team effort, man. You got to let me know. I hope you got to help me out.
My bad.
Help me, help you.
Well, anyways, basically, this comes in last night, and that he's attacked Awesome Kong. So I wake up, get the story out today. I'm still waiting right now, obviously. He's at the TNA TV tapings right now. Actually, just booked a match. It's in the TNA Impact tapings. So I'm waiting probably, 11, 12 o'clock tonight when he gets back to a laptop in a hotel room where I can get more information on this. So the deal is, we'll talk about Bubba first, what's going on with him. Last week I came on here, I said that he's just under my skin, and I got the email, and basically what the guy that I talked to in TNA says is Bubba has got to stop, this is the quote, Bubba just has to stop acting like a worker. He brings a lot to the table publicity-wise, so they won't get rid of him, but cream rises, as they say, so all the newbies will weed themselves out. And basically he's right, where Bubba needs to stop acting like one of the guys, one of the boys backstage, because he's not, and he comes in and he's got this monster ego, and these tweets that we've seen as of late are just, they're off the wall, man. I mean, he sounds
I would compare it to like a boxing journalist, a guy who covers boxing for like a newspaper, the New York Times or something. Okay, so he covers boxing. So he's always in boxing mode. He talks boxing, he thinks boxing, he's a boxing expert. Which Bubba, he claims to be a wrestling expert on his radio show. But then, this boxing writer goes into a boxing gym where, Lennox Lewis is sparring, or Floyd Mayweather. And he says, no, you're doing it wrong. You do it like this. Like, bro, you're out of your element here, man. Bubba the Love Sponge is now in wrestling. He used to be the wrestling joke guy on the radio, using wrestling terms as jokes, etc. Which was nice. It was funny. It was cute. Go ahead and do your thing. You're in wrestling now. You can't come in there like Joe Jerkoff and think that you're one of the boys just because you know a couple of slang terms and you're friends with Hulk Hogan. You can't just come in there and do that, Or maybe you can. Who knows? Jeremy Boyce got fired. He didn't. I mean, he came in and just completely acted like he runs shit and like he knows it all. So basically what happened is he comes out and does a Twitter post, I believe it was on Sunday night, and he says, you guys know about the whole deal in Haiti. They had a massive earthquake here. The images on TV are just off the wall. I mean, wild stuff where people are trapped in their homes, and a lot of people throughout the United States are trying to help these people. And Bubba came out and said, fuck Haiti. And with that being said, a lot of people... fuck Haiti, they can worry about themselves. Why do we always have to step up and help other people? We can help ourselves, blah, blah, yeah.
Exactly. He says, fuck Haiti, blah, 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 blah. And there were people within the company, Awesome Kong being one of those. He threw a benefit party, a fundraising party over the weekend for the people of Haiti. Bubba comes out, and he's a nationally syndicated radio host, okay? And sometimes... Although, if you do feel that way, which, I'm sure a lot of people do, you know what I mean, where America right now is, we're in a heap of trouble. As far as our economy, and then yet we're sending these people lots and lots of money to help them out. And the thing about it is, Bubba came out and he basically said, fuck Haiti, we shouldn't be giving these people anything, we should be more concerned about ourselves. Which, I'll be honest, I agree somewhat with it. Think about it like this, okay? If America came, all right, and we had this huge earthquake, right? And we called for the people of Haiti and we said, help us, we need help. Nobody in Haiti would be able to give us a damn thing, okay? This happens in Haiti, and they call on America.
Yeah, well, we're the only country set up to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Right, you're right.
But either way, the fact remains, I agree simply because, I mean, maybe not the way he said it, but his general idea is we got a million problems right now in this country. I mean, didn't Obama just put like 30,000 more troops into the war and shit? Like, we got all this crap going on, you know. Why are we worried about other people's, you know, help out if you can, but don't make that priority number one in our country. We got our own shit to work.
I know. We have a ton of our own shit that we're dealing with, but
major shit, not little shit, major shit.
The images on TV are...
I haven't seen none of that, so that would probably change my opinion. The only stuff I know about this story is what Bubba said on that Twitter and some stuff Howard Stern talks about. So I don't really even know how serious it is or what.
There was major heat over him, obviously, for those comments. And this is where, basically, there have been problems with Bubba. I mean, we talked about him last week here on the show, problems with Bubba before this backstage where, you know, he's just got a huge ego, and he sounds like such an immature kid with these tweets about how, I'm gonna quit TNA, I'm not gonna be there, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Yeah, go ahead, dude. You're not some major star. You're not Hulk Hogan. You may think it almost seems like he thinks he's like on the level of Hulk Hogan, where he's just this. And maybe part of that is angle. You know what I mean? Maybe part of that is storyline. Some of these tweets, but from what I've been told, I mean, this is honestly.
Well, the other thing you got to always keep in mind is, and Howard Stern's the best example of this. Any kind of thing like that it'll kill. You got to do a 4 or 5 hour show a day, and Bubba does 2 of those a day. So you got like 8, 9, 10 hours a day of radio time you got to fill. Anything like this, it guarantees you 2 hours of bullshitting on your radio show. Callers, sound parody, or song parodies and prank calls and about the situation. So like you're creating content for your radio show. You're getting your name out to the wrestling media. Right. He's being maybe a media whore about it and an entertainment whore about it. Whereas
you also work for a company that is doing fundraising efforts and that is doing everything that they can do to help these.
Well, that's
people.
what I was going to say. In TNA, they got a promotional department. They've got guys that I forget what I'm trying to say. People that like a PR department or something, like a publicist, like that says, hey, don't say that, that's bad for our company image, and we got to keep the TNA branch legitimate, not like a degenerate kind of thing where we're the scumbags that run around saying fuck Haiti and shit like that. We got to be a nice company, and you're not helping us with that in any way. How about shut up a little bit and making our job?
How about people within your company saying fuck Haiti, blah blah, as the company is trying to help. Obviously, I mean, you see the images on TV, and I see Wayne in the chat room saying, would you like your family to suffer and die with no food? And that's true. That a lot of people are trapped in their houses. A lot of people are dying over there, and any help that we can give is obviously they need it. You know what I mean? But it's just the fact that, I mean, I saw images on the news where these people are screaming, there's no help, we're not getting any help, and that's couldn't be further from the truth. It's just taking a while to get to all these people who are...
Well, the other argument you can make is we had a situation like this in our own country in New Orleans with the, what the fuck was it? The fourth one?
Well, Hurricane Katrina.
Katrina, yeah, and it took forever to, I mean, that's our own country, and it seems like we're doing more for Haiti than we did for ourselves, and that's a whole,
Well, we're trying to help other countries. I mean, obviously they're in need right now, but the fact is if it happened to somebody, in America, and we came begging for help from somebody like Haiti, I mean, Haiti wouldn't, obviously they're not a very wealthy country as it is. They wouldn't be able to help. But the fact is, I mean, we've got to help them. I mean, you can't deny that. But the fact that Bubba came out, and Bubba's a nationally syndicated. He's got two nationally syndicated radio programs to come out and say that, and then to work with a company that is doing everything that they can to try to help the people of Haiti to come out and say fuck Haiti. Obviously, generated them some backstage heat, and then there was the deal yesterday is, and here's where we'll get into.
The whole thing is, he's a Howard Stern clone. He loves controversies. He's probably loving this whole thing.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Sure he is. But I mean,
here's somebody that's making a point. Here's somebody making a point in your favor in the chat. He says, where did it go? He said, well, basically he said saying fuck Haiti is like somebody overseas saying fuck 9/11 or something, which that makes sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, it's an ignorant fucking thing to say, but I mean, I don't know.
It's an ignorant thing that, well, sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut than to not say what's true.
Absolutely.
And in situations like this, Bubba probably should have kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, like me and you always advocate. We say the best radio is honesty. Just speak your mind. But that doesn't mean you have to speak every thought in your mind. It just means any thoughts you do speak them honestly. That doesn't mean if you really think fuck Haiti and fuck them and we're the great fuck that, you can think that, but you don't have to say it. You don't have to lie about it. Just don't say anything about it at all.
Right. So basically, I mean, we'll get into the exclusive bit that I have for you right now. Basically, prior to the Impact tapings yesterday, like I said, Awesome Kong had done a benefit video. And by the way, here's another cheap plug, TNAWrestlingNews.com. I got some exclusive videos off of YouTube. They were sent to me by somebody who was at the party, cell phone video, footage of Velvet Sky and Madison Rain, who are up on a bar counter, very drunk in the videos, and kissing, dancing, doing all kinds of dirty stuff up on the bar counter. So I have those up at TNAWrestlingNews.com. We've got all those good videos and stuff.
I'm so pissed off.
What's the matter?
I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at the chat. I didn't hear how you segued from fuck Haiti to we got pictures of the knockouts taken out at the bar. I don't know how you.
I was all right. I don't know
how you segued into that without being awkward.
We're transitioning into the Bubba field. The transition was Awesome Kong held a benefit party for Haiti. And at that party, Madison Rain and Velvet Sky.
I think you're stretching, man.
No. Velvet Sky were on they were on the bar counter and they were getting dirty. So we have the exclusive videos up at TNAWrestlingNews.com. So basically, yesterday,
not dirty dildo.
Dirty dildo. Hey!
Not the funny dirty dildo, no?
Yeah, baby. Do
you have anything more on that, or have you stopped talking to her, or what? Anything to talk about?
I haven't contacted her, dude. Fuck.
Damn, I was hoping that story would keep going. I wanted that story to go.
We can send some emails and fire it back up if need be.
You can. I'm staying out of it, but I'm dying for you to get back. I'm staying out of it, but I'm dying for you to get in there so I can hear more of it. It's entertaining as shit.
We'll see what happens. If she ever contacts me again, who knows? But, all right, so nonetheless, we had this benefit party with Awesome Kong, and basically yesterday at the TV tapings, there was an altercation. It happened in a hallway backstage. Basically, Awesome Kong went up, and according to my source, and like I said, I'm waiting until about 11 o'clock tonight where we'll get back to the hotel and we'll get more information on this, and then we'll have a full article up later here tonight. Hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning we'll have an article up on what exactly went down with Awesome Kong and Bubba the Love Sponge. But apparently, this is what I've been told so far, Awesome Kong went up to Bubba, freaked out, screamed top of her lungs, and just unleashed a flurry.
Kong's gonna kill you. Kong's gonna kill you.
I mean, just unleashed a flurry of punches on Bubba. Bubba went down to the ground. Okay, and covered up into like a ball, into like a baseball state, as Kong is just throwing haymakers. All right. As Kong is throwing haymakers, and at this point, people backstage come to try to break it up.
They laugh for a quick minute, and then what happened?
No, the guy that I saw, a couple of guys came over and tried to break it up, and Kong continued to just swing away at everything.
Anybody in
sight, just swung away. Anybody in sight, and Bubba, the entire time, like he said on his radio show today, he was saying, man, what's going on? What's this all about? And Kong screaming, this is for Haiti, you motherfucker. This is for Haiti. That was the exactly what he gave me in the email. This is for Haiti, you motherfucker. This is for Haiti, you motherfucker. So
that's taking it too serious, first of all. That kind of shit just makes me like, oh, God. Like when 9/11 happened and people wanted to go beat up every cab driver and shit, like, don't do that. That's not going to help anything. It's not going to help anything. But the funny thing is Bubba the Love Sponge passes himself off as this tough guy. You've seen him on Howard Stern challenging Iron Sheik to fight and kick your ass, kid. And he thinks he's a tough guy, and then a woman beats the shit out of him in front of everyone.
I'm talking.
Has him on his hands and knees, covering his head up. Ooh, stop. You fucking pussy.
Let me say this. Here's what Bubba said on his radio show. He says she was wearing wrestling gear, and she came in on me and sucker punched me right on my left cheek. And I was like, what's going on? Then she came at me again, hit me again in the mouth, and she goes, this is for Haiti. This is for Haiti. And I'm like, what's going on? Finally, I put my left hand out and push her away from me, and she comes at me again, and I just cover up because I cannot fight back on a woman. Not only will I be fired from TNA, which I probably already am, but my radio career is gone if I take a woman out. Hulk Hogan, who was also on the show, replies, I tell you what, after what happened, if you had clocked her, you'd have gotten away with it. What nobody knows, and this is the real truth, that there were certain people there. She should get off the property. She should be fired immediately. That's it. It was so violent. You could have actually lost an eye. You could have had your teeth knocked out. But to give you your credo, you are the one who said not to fire her. And that's true, as my source said that Bubba was adamant by saying, I don't want her fired. I don't want anything to come of this. It was all a misunderstanding. It was my fault. I said the fuck Katie remark, blah, 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 blah. But from what I've been told, and that's what Bubba said on his radio show today.
Well, real quick, I would say if he did hit her back, it would make, I mean, first of all, don't hit her back. But if he did, I could see Hogan backing him. If he didn't hit her back, she should be fired for no other reason than there's something called freedom of speech. You may not agree with what the guy said. You can't just walk up and start punching him in the face repeatedly.
That's true. And that's exactly, I mean, according to my source, all right, and this was the guy that emailed me last night, and he was there, and he was one of the guys that broke this up, where she went up to him and basically just clocked him and just went off, I mean, screaming at the top of her lungs.
Wait, your guy got clocked?
Made a huge, huge scene, and then as these guys were trying to break it up, she was just hauling away, doing everything she possibly could to get at Bubba, who was just crumpled up on the floor. Like, what are you're crazy.
That's embarrassing, man. Jesus, that's embarrassing as fuck.
Right. I mean, we're going to have more on that later tonight. As soon as we get more information, like I said, I'm expecting an email probably 11, 12, somewhere around midnight, and hopefully I can type that up. But I do have an email out, and he told me that he'd get back to me later tonight when he got back to the hotel. So hopefully we'll have details on that later. Huh?
Here's what I want to happen. I want to have a live chat poll. Everybody in the chat room, WZR Army, pay attention. I want you to type in your answers here, all right? Matt Boone would have hit a woman, I'm sure. Why does people think I'm such a scumbag? God damn. I'm drunk every week. I hit up girls now? When did that happen? What? No, I would. But, okay, here's my poll question for the chat room. I want everybody's answers. Which do you consider to be more embarrassing? Being JBL and getting knocked out by Joey Styles in front of all the boys? Being the big, tough guy, you're supposed to be the toughest guy in the locker room, and then the little, small, pencil-neck geek announcer knocks you on your ass? Or would you rather be Bubba the Love Sponge who pretends to be a tough guy and then gets his ass whooped by a girl, even though she's a monster of a girl in front of everybody, curled up in a ball on the ground? Please stop. Which would you rather be? Which is more important?
I gotta go Styles knocking out JBL, dude. Just because JBL's known as somebody backstage, it's always been, you know.
No. The question was, which do you think would be more embarrassing, if you had to be JBL or if you had to be Bubba the Love Sponge? In those situations, who would you rather be? Who is less embarrassing to be?
I'd say JBL, just due to the fact that I'm a huge tough guy backstage, that I rid people all the time, and then some fucking nerd comes and punches me right in the face.
It's completely unanimous in the chat. I haven't seen one person say Bubba yet. Everybody says JBL.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, that's
JBL.
Embarrassing. When you told me that, I swear to God, I thought you were ribbing me. I swear to God. I said, I'm not buying that. You shouldn't be selling it. You're like, bro, I'm telling you right now. Joey Styles knocked JBL out, and right when he hit him, JBL grabbed his face and said, oh, no, or something like that. Like, oh, my God, in front of everyone. Oh, God. How's he ever going to live that? That's why he ain't there no more, man.
Oh, man. So, we'll transfer off the Bubba stuff and get to other news and rumors. But basically, I mean, I've said it in a lot of my posts on the news boards that you guys probably read. I think it's time for him to go. And obviously, he delivers them a great deal of publicity. He's got some major, major shows and gets them publicity. But the fact is, I mean, the guy's ego is far bigger than what he's worth for that company, if you ask me. And I think it's time for him to go. You know, I just think, you know, they've already got a ton of promotion with him, and the fact is that he's been with the company.
You get even more if you fire. If you fire him, you get even more.
Yeah, not only that, but even if it's bad press, I mean, if they fire him and he goes out and he trashes the company, this and that, guess what? You're still getting press through his...
Well, if you trash the company, to the casual listener who doesn't watch wrestling because they only listen to Bubba, it makes TNA sound way more interesting. Like, we got to watch this and see what's going on.
Not only that, but I don't think he's going to come out and trash the company because he's got friends there in high places. He's got Hogan, Nasty Boys are there. He's got friends in high places. So why would he come out? I mean, I'm sure he's not going to try to hurt the company because with Hogan still being there, I don't think he'd do anything to really fuck with Hogan, you know. And I think Hogan would tell him eventually to shut his mouth if he went out there and you know, basically started trash talking TNA and everything that happened within that company, you know. But I think it's time, man. I think, you know, we've seen enough. I mean, over the past few weeks with Bubba, I mean, he's just it's to the point now where it got old a long time ago, and it seems like he creates more problems than he does.
He creates but for us, he creates a lot more news, so I love him for that. But
that's true.
Bubba the Love Sponge, he doesn't add anything to the show. I mean, he's okay at what he does, but anybody else can do it. There's no reason to have him do it. Somebody else made the point that, let's not forget, he's the interviewer, so he's going to be standing next to these guys interviewing him. He's going to be way bigger than 90% of the guys he stands next to, which makes the announcer look bigger than the wrestlers, which are supposed to be the tough guys. Well, Jeremy Borash was like 4 feet tall, skinny. He had the perfect look for that because he made everybody look bigger than they are, you know?
Yeah, but not only that, but Jeremy Borash did a great job in his. I know you have a personal thing against Borash.
I just don't like his voice. I think his attitude. I think he thinks he's Mr.
Yeah, but he was good in the role that he played backstage as the backstage.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought he did a very.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
I mean, better than Bubba, you know, and hopefully Bubba doesn't come in and take over his spot. And I know Bubba. That's one of the things about Bubba is you know, he's such a dickhead and he's got such an ego, but then he comes out and it's almost like he tries to save face. Like, oh, I don't want Awesome Kong. Even though Awesome Kong beat the shit out of me, I don't want him to be fired. Or even though I took Jeremy Borash's job, I don't agree with it. Blah, blah, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. I don't know how much of that's work and shoot. I have no idea.
I think he tries to save face a lot of the time with some of his. I just think he's a fucking prick, dude. Over the past 2 weeks, man. Over the past few weeks, Bubba the Love Sponge is just really, I don't know, he's fucking hurt.
Well, there you go. Final word on Bubba the Love Sponge. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, buddy?
Yes, sir. I was going to ask you a question. Do you know when they're going to end this stupid guest host crap? Because I was hoping, I heard rumors online that at the end of this storyline with the guest host, that the last one is going to be the GM.
Yeah, I heard, the last I heard, Guy, was, that Maurice was expected to host Monday Night Raw, next week, I believe.
You son of a bitch. You got
beat you to it, you son of a bitch.
right before you, I thought you were gonna really answer the, alright, okay. Turn your speakers down when you call in, guys. Please, I'm begging you. But no, I thought you were going to answer his question, so I was going to let it alone. I hung up on him to let you answer. My last question was going to be, all right, we'll answer that in a second real quick before we go. Do you have any Maurice questions, sir? I was late to do it. You beat me to it, man.
No, we had, the guest host thing, we've got it booked up through February. I think they're going into March now.
No, they got to do March with Austin.
Yeah, with Austin. Jerry Springer's coming in. You've got the guys from Psych or whatever the hell it is next week on Raw. And, by the way, John Heater last night was fairly good in his role.
Jerry Springer, too. I don't know if you mentioned. I was looking at the callers. But, all right, caller, you're on the air. It seems like they know when to call in. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, buddy?
Yes. Do you know if Booker T's coming to TNA?
That's a good.
Have you heard anything?
Well, that's a good question. I'll answer it. The last we had heard, and we put this up on the websites, was that Booker T had been in talks with WWE, wanted a reduced schedule similar to the Shawn Michaels treatment where he doesn't have to work a lot of house shows. WWE turned him down on that, but it's possible. There had been rumors that a surprise entrant possibly in the Royal Rumble, but as of last word, as we reported on the website, talks had fallen through between WWE and Booker T, and obviously he didn't leave TNA in the best terms several months ago when he left. So
there you go. There's your answer. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, man?
Hello. Do you think if Bubba the Love Sponge leaves TNA, that Hulk Hogan will leave in bad terms as well?
He said, do you think if Bubba the Love Sponge leaves TNA, do you think Hulk Hogan will be on bad terms with the company as well?
I don't think so. I think I know they're good friends, and I had thought about that when we were talking about blah blah. Turn the fucking speaker when these people call up, man. Turn your speakers down, guys. Turn your speakers down, please, please, please. If you're calling, otherwise we're gonna hang up on you. But no, nonetheless, I think Hogan's. Bubba's not Hogan's only friend within that company. You've got Hogan.
Bubba doesn't need that job to sink or swim. I mean, it's really just a side job for him. He's goofing around.
Right. No, I think if Bubba left, Hogan would be fine. I mean, Hogan's got more friends than just Bubba within TNA. Right? It's not the two of them. It's not both. You know what I mean? So, no.
Crawley, you're on the air. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
We're just wondering. Just Stone Cold was supposed to be on. I believe the 15th for the guest host
of March. Yeah.
Right. Do you think there's a possibility that they might have that interact with the Vince McMahon and Bret Hart match?
I don't think so, because he had nothing to do with that. So it would be weird to wedge him in there for no reason. But you never know. I mean, I don't know. That's my answer. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah. Quick question. Hey, first off, Mr. Maboon, you are. Hey, Callie, man, you're hilarious. Every time you crack jokes to me, I'll be laughing. Like the Hogan thing, I'm with to a four-sided ring. Yeah, I said we want 6 sides. Hogan's like, you know what, you remember about the Genesis pay-per-view? And they were chanting, we want 6 sides. And Hogan was kind of like saying, you know what, you TNA fans, y'all can stick it, brother. And that was just hilarious the way you said it.
What's on your mind, bro?
Hey, I wanted to say brother in Florida a lot. I don't know besides Hogan. But the question is, I read on one of your or a site that supposedly the Morley or Moore, however you pronounce it, is mixed because of the Hogan, the new things he's doing. So do you think when some TNA wrestlers, when their contracts expire, do you think if Hogan is still there doing whatever, changing it, will they just say screw it and re-sign? Or do you think they'll try to go WWE or back to ROH or wherever else you think? Would say some people, but
are you talking about Sean Morley? Are you talking about Sean Morley specifically, or? No,
definitely not him. I mean, like some of the TNA originals,
like the Daniels and the guy they're jobbing out for Sean Morley. Ryan would be better answering that. Ryan would be better answering that question. He's saying if they continue going the way they're going by making guys like Daniels job to guys like Sean Morley and the Nasty Boys are jobbing. When those TNA hardcore guys like Daniels, AJ Styles, etc., will they get pissed off and just say, fuck it, go to WWE or Ring of Honor, or are they sticking around? What do you think?
I think TNA has had meetings where basically they've told talent where if you don't like what's going on, if you don't like the way you're being used, you can opt out of your contract. You can, if you don't want to...
But he's saying, do you think they will opt out of their contract if nothing changes and they keep getting squashed by, former 90s mid-carders in WWE?
Yeah, I think you're only going to put up with it. I mean, some guys, everybody's got a different attitude as far as, guys like Frankie Kazarian tried to quit that company numerous times. Homicide's another one that's tried to quit that company numerous times.
Yeah, but the guys that talked him out of it are Daniels and Styles and those people. He's saying, are those people, if they keep getting jobbed to these new guys that they're trying to get over, are they eventually going to be like, fuck this, man? It
all depends. It all depends on your attitude. Are you concerned about your push within TNA, or are you concerned about a weekly paycheck that's coming in by staying there? You know what I mean? If you stay there,
you would get another paycheck for working somewhere else. So I guess you're not going to get a straight answer, brother. You got anything else on your mind?
Yeah, one last question, MMA question. I remember about the Brock Lesnar thing. Let's just say he comes back and fights like a Carwin or a Murray and gets his butt spanked. What's the last person I remember I called you and asked you about him when he got his ass whooped, and he made excuses saying, I had a broken skull, but I still fought, and he got whooped up, and he said that one of you guys said he always makes excuses whenever he gets beat. Yeah, Tito, yeah. Do you think that if Lesnar gets his butt tapped by a Carwin or a Murray, whoever fights him, do you think he'll make an excuse? Say, I was messed up, my health was bad, so I had to, only reason I lost you guys is because of my health? Or do you think Lesnar would say, screw, I lost, take his butt with him like a man, and not make no excuse like Tito Ortiz makes? And that's all you guys. Thanks.
All right, thanks, buddy. No, he's not like Tito Ortiz. I don't think if he lost, he would get on and say, I had a foot hurting problem or something. Because he lost before to Frank Mir. He was beating his ass. He got caught in a submission. When he lost, he just said, screw it, he got me. He seems to be way more of a UFC-minded person than a sports entertainment-minded person, even though he excelled at both. So, no, I don't think he would make excuses if he lost.
Let me run down a little bit of news and rumors, and then we'll wrap this up with some more phone calls and chat shout-outs we got to get to as well. We had an article up on The Rock. Basically told the Toronto Sun last week. They asked him, "Will I go back to WWE?" Absolutely, he says. The goal is to go back and do something special. I talked to Vince McMahon a couple of months ago, and we're trying to come up with something. After I wrap filming for the next action movie faster that he's doing right now, maybe in the summer I can go back. The fact that The Rock's tune as of late has definitely changed. I mean, there was a time not long ago where he didn't want to be referred to as The Rock. He didn't want to talk about...
He's doing that for this new movie, Tooth Fairy. It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson again. He's
right. Went back to the Rock name. So basically, this is a major change from what he said in past interviews, and now the fact that he says, "Will I go back?" Absolutely. You can expect him, obviously, probably to guest host Monday Night Raw, and I wouldn't rule it out. Where it really seems like he's going to be on David Letterman tonight, and according to somebody that was at the taping earlier today, there was a lot of pro wrestling talk. David Letterman's a big fan of pro wrestling. There was a lot of wrestling talk on tonight's episode. So The Rock is going to be on Letterman tonight, so make sure you check that out. But I'd expect him back probably in a...
You sure it's Letterman? I heard he was on Leno tonight.
It's Letterman. Letterman tonight. Leno coming up, and then he's on Regis and Kathy, I believe, tomorrow in the morning. I think that I'm going to put up an article later after we go off the air. Sid Vicious TNA rumors. Basically, the deal here is Sean Waltman is a big fan of Sid.
Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, Scott
I
Waltman,
just took a guess.
Sean Waltman is a friend of Sid Vicious's. Another cheap plug here. We have a new look photo of Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid Vicious, with straight hair over at TNAWrestlingNews.com. Looks completely different. Doesn't even
he
look
looks like Patrick Swayze on steroids.
He does, man. TNAWrestlingNews.com for that. We had some releases.
You're not going to read my little thing here that that was going to be my line to set your plug up there. We're going to talk about the photos, and I was going to say, where can they find those, young Ryan? Where can they find those photos?
You can find those at TNAWrestlingNews.com.
Oh, okay.
We had some releases. There were a lot of developmental releases last week, and then on Sunday, interesting day for a release, but Eric Escobar, Vicky Guerrero's ex-boyfriend over on the SmackDown brand, they fired him, was future endeavored by WWE.com on Sunday afternoon. More releases are expected in the future. Usually they do the developmental cuts first, which have already happened.
Yeah, FCW cut a bunch of guys.
Then we get the main roster cuts, and basically you've got the TV tapings yesterday and today. And I would
Those are done. Time to clean house.
I would expect later this week, whether it be tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, stay tuned, because I've been told that main roster cuts are on the way. So after the TV tapings are over, everybody's back in Stamford. We clean them out, and I would expect that possibly at some point this week. But over the next few weeks, we're going to have releases in the future. Like we said earlier, Jerry Springer is going to host Monday Night Raw. We've got James Roday and Dual Hill from Psych, who are going to guest host next Monday night's Raw. Do we have a caller?
No, I'm actually in the middle of doing something, dude.
Yeah, all right.
My computer's about to crash right now. It's running out of memory and space. I'm trying to complete some stuff.
Oh no, that wouldn't be good. Well, if we go off the air, we'll see him next Tuesday night, right? 7 to 9 Eastern time.
Probably not. If it crashes, it's going to be a while before I'm back on.
Well, we'll help you out.
These guys are listening to my computer sounds right now as I do this. I just emptied the little recycle bin.
Oh no, that's no good. No good. Keep us live, baby. Live! Keep us live!
Oh, yay!
Yeah, baby. Guys, we've got our live chat room. Why don't I do some chat shout-outs here? I'm only going to do the people that are typing in the chat room this week, so you better start typing in the chat room, because I'm not going to read everybody. I'm not reading the whole list. It's just who I see in the chat room, starting right now. Wally 76er, Ramstein 420, Killjoy, Dan Sparks, Triple ZZZ, Instant Classic, NWO, Law is Bubba, Wally76, or Big Ben DX3000. Ronnie is in there. Don't spam, by the way, guys. Don't spam. Rammerstein 420. Joe Bill is in there. The One Man Dynasty is in there. Kimi Uoto. J-Man 1978. And now people are going to blast me with instant.
You should have just read them off the side. What are you doing?
Hornswoggle's third leg. Not Nice is in there. I met him in New York City a few weeks back. Austin 316 is in there. Boone Son is in there. Nate Joseph. I hate Bubba the Love Sponge. The People's Champ 21. Bobby Joke. I don't know. Riven. Hogan fucking sucks. TNA 12 is in there. The People's Champ 21. NWO is in there. Ryan
Unbroken.
Berg. Unbroken is in there. I don't know. Instant Classic. I don't know, guys. I tried to get as many of
people. Also, we gotta shout out Don Humphreys again. YouTube.com/user/WZR archive. Tons of old stuff. Like the last 2 or 3 years worth of shows are up there, so you can go listen to those. Some with Ryan and Richard, some with Ryan and Jose, some with me and Ryan, some when I hosted and Ryan was my guest host, some when he hosted and I'm his guest. Listen to the history of WZR, youtube.com/user/WZR archive, and also shout out to Wrestling Streams in the chat for hooking us up with TNA pay-per-view this past Sunday night. Thank you, guys.
No doubt. A couple more here. Genetic Jackhammer's in there. Mr. TNA, Unbroken. I think you got him before. I don't know, guys. I got as many of you as possible. Hopefully I got you. If I missed you next week, we'll do it. We're going to get out of here right now about 5 minutes early. Boone's having computer issues, so we'll get them resolved. We'll get out of here and see you guys next Tuesday night. I'm going to try to work on WZROnline.com. Hopefully I can find somebody to help me out. Somebody emailed me during the show. I just got that email, so I'll probably be contacting you. If anybody knows the WordPress script, give me an email at webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. If you guys want to help us out, any help would be much appreciated. Brand new design over at TNAWrestlingNews.com. Tons of galleries, tons of good shit. Thanks to everybody who came out in the chat room tonight. Everybody who comes out every Tuesday night, 7 to 9 Eastern Time. Matty B, it's been fun, my man.
Yes, sir.
And I'll see you next Tuesday night, my man. For Matt Boone.
That's me.
This is Ryan Clark.
That's him.
See you next Tuesday, guys, 7 to 9 Eastern Time, WZROnline.com.